Hello and welcome to NBA Talk with Jordan Valdez. First things first, let's get to today's matchups. Our first matchup is Tracy McGrady versus Gilbert Arenas. They were both in the top 10 NBA players a few years ago. Then they both got injured, and now they're both just mediocre players for their teams. Tracy McGrady is on the Detroit Pistons, and Gilbert Arenas is on the Orlando Magic. Tracy McGrady got the starting point guard position with the Detroit Pistons, and Gilbert Arenas is coming off the bench as the backup point guard, shooting guard for the Magic. So I'm gonna. Tracy McGrady was so dominant with Houston and Orlando, but then again, Gilbert Arenas, back when he was with Washington a few years ago, he was just great. He was averaging 20 plus points per game. So was Tracy, but Gilbert definitely was. And I'm a big fan of the way Tracy McGrady plays, but and he has had a good comeback season from his injury, but Gilbert Arenas has not been playing well this season. So I'm not saying that Tracy has been playing great this season, but Gilbert hasn't been playing that well. So I'm going to give it to Tracy. I'm going to give that matchup to Tracy McGrady. Next matchup, Pau Gasol versus Zach Randolph. Zach Randolph, he's playing for the Memphis Grizzlies with Pau Gasol's brother, Marc Gasol. And he was just amazing against both the Spurs and the Thunder in the postseason this year. Pau Gasol, he is really important to the Los Angeles Lakers. Playing with Kobe, he's 7 feet tall, but he's playing at power forward. He's a power forward center, but since the Lakers have Andrew Bynum, he gets to move to power forward, which he can really dominate even more because he has even more of a height advantage at the power forward position. So I'm gonna give this matchup to Zach Randolph actually. Pau Gasol, I know he made All NBA second team, and Zach Randolph made All NBA third team, but Zach Randolph showed us what he can do in the postseason this year. I'm not saying that Pau Gasol isn't a great player, because he is. He's amazing. But Zach Randolph deserves this. So we got a question. You can email your questions to nbatalk@inbox.com. We got a question. Who do you think will win the finals in 2012? From Parker B. I think that there's a lot of teams that have the ability to win next year. I think that the Thunder have a good chance. They're young, but they're learning how to win. You saw they got eliminated in the first round in the 2010 playoffs. This year, eliminated in the Western Conference Finals. So I think they have a good chance. I think that Dallas could come back again. I think they could. However, Jason Kidd is getting old, so I mean he's already old, but he's getting old, so it's important that he still stays consistent. Um, I think that I think that possibly the Hornets. You saw that they took the Lakers into 6 games in the first round, but I think they have a chance to get there. I don't think it's a high chance, but I think they have the ability. They could, as long as Chris Paul stays. If Chris Paul stays with them, that's what matters. And I think he's leaning towards them actually. If I were him, I would be leaning towards staying with the Hornets, because you saw that the Hornets pushed the Lakers to 6 games. And I think Chris Paul liked that, and I think that motivates him to stay with them. If he doesn't stay with them, then they really need to sign a different free agent to stay in the playoffs race. But to stay in the playoffs race. But if Chris Paul stays, then I think they can be a contender. Now in the Eastern Conference, I think that the Bulls have a good chance. I mean, they got knocked out in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. I think they have a chance to make it to the championship next year. I think that the Heat could do it again. I think the Heat could come and they could do it again. All right. Thank you for your question, Parker B. And everyone else, just remember you can submit your NBA questions for a chance to be answered on the show to nbatalk@inbox.com. Okay, now we got some NBA headlines to talk about. Kevin McHale, former Boston Celtic, reported new head coach of the Houston Rockets by Yahoo Sports. Kevin McHale was ESPN also confirmed on Friday that Kevin McHale had been offered the head coaching job. So they needed to find a replacement. They needed to find a replacement for Rick Adelman. The Rockets almost got to the playoffs this year, but I think the reason they decided not to keep Adelman was because they needed someone. They needed someone to push them over that hump, and they didn't think that Rick Adelman was the person for that. Thank you for watching NBA Talk, and I will see you next time.